The Matchless Conqueror, film which was filmed in Taiwan and released in 1971, is one of my all-time favorite martial arts films of the 1970s. This commentary will focus on some of the things I really like about this film. Of course, what I like most about this film is the basic plot. This was the third film in a trilogy. First two films were Sorrowful to a Ghost and The Ghost's Sword. The villain in the previous film becomes the hero in this film, which seems to me it's as if it's saying that the difference between a hero and a villain is sometimes very thin and due largely to circumstances. You know, one day you could find yourself a villain and the next day you could find yourself a hero. At the end of the previous film, the villain was sword stabbed in the stomach and two knives were thrown into his chest. He had these two yin-yangs on his robe, and there was a knife that went straight in the center of each yin-yang, which I thought was really cool. And then he fell off a cliff, so presumably he was dead, but no, he's back for the third film, which picks up right where the second film left off, as he falls into a river. He's survived the fall. He's very soon confronted by four fighters who have been looking for him, trying to avenge some of the bad things that this guy did in the previous film. So our hero now doesn't want to fight with him. He tries to talk his way out of it, and when they start to fight with him, he doesn't even unsheath his sword at first. But soon he's wounded by a poisoned sword, and so he decides to get serious, and he kills the four guys that are attacking him. He's been poisoned with this poisoned sword, and that poison is going to kill him in about 7 days. So already his strength is draining away. He staggers into a temple, hoping to find a priest that can cure him, but the temple is deserted. While he's there, three people also come into the temple: a man, his dying wife, and their little child. The man is a government official trying to escape from a tyrant who is seeking to overthrow the emperor. The official gives our hero some medicine, which temporarily restores his strength, but he's still poisoned. He's still going to die in 7 days unless he can get an antidote. In return for the medicine, the hero agrees to take the child to a distant refuge, to safety. The tyrant soon kills the boy's father, and he gives orders that the boy is also to be found and killed. So soon the tyrant's men and freelance mercenaries and all sorts of bad guys are also on the trail of the hero and the boy. The hero is soon confronted by a girl who also wants to kill him. She wants to kill him because he killed her brother back in the previous movie when he was a bad guy. The hero doesn't want to fight with her, but she insists. They start fighting. The fight is stopped by the frightened child. So the hero asks the girl, hey, can we postpone this until after I take the child to safety, and then, you know, we'll do whatever you want. You want to fight me? Fine, we'll fight, whatever. The girl agrees, and she follows the hero and the child. As the hero, the child, and the girl travel along together, the girl finds herself gradually bonding with the child. It's almost as though there's a little mothering instinct that's starting to develop. And she helps the hero protect the child from the tyrant's men. After several fights with the bad guys, the child is finally brought to safety, and the hero is cured of his blood poisoning. At long last, the hero and the girl begin their fight. Of course, he doesn't want to fight with her. She insists. So they start fighting, but they're interrupted with the news that the child has been captured by the tyrant. So the two of them team up to go defeat the tyrant and to rescue the child, and at the end, the hero, the girl, and the child all ride off together. The future uncertain. Will they remain together? Will the girl still seek revenge and still want to kill the hero? The end of it is very unresolved because you don't know whether if the girl is gonna still want to take revenge and kill the hero. The big dramatic scene in the film is between the hero and a sage. The sage has the power to heal his poison. The sage, whose brother was also killed by the hero in the previous movie, tells the hero that because of all the evil deeds you've done, because of all the people you've killed, you do not deserve to live, while the hero's pleading for the antidote. It's a very dramatic scene, very, very well done. The hero's really tormented throughout most of the film. either the pain of his wounds, because he gets wounded quite a bit, or the poison, or the knowledge that he has little time left to live, and remorse for the many good men that he killed in the previous movie. Several times he vows that he is never going to draw his sword, he's never going to fight again, that all fighting of any kind is behind him. And yet, when he's forced into it, when it's a situation of, either defend yourself or die, or defend yourself or the child will die, he repeatedly breaks his vow and fights. His motivation throughout the film is very, very basic, just survival for himself and for the child whom he promised to take to safety. To me, that motivation is part of what makes the film really work so well. In most martial arts films, the hero is fighting for honor or for revenge or for justice, or else you have an anti-hero who's out there fighting for personal gain. But in this film, he's just fighting for survival. Except for a few scenes, the story constantly follows the hero. The film has a strong level of violence, as many of the martial arts films from around that time did. The hero has a number of special sword techniques. One of them is a technique of changing the sword hand constantly, which keeps the opponent off guard because the opponent can't get set in a defensive position when you're shifting your sword hand. The girl is motivated primarily by revenge. She wants to duel with the hero in a fair fight and kill him for having killed her brother. In one scene, they fight together against the tyrant's men, and she is wounded in the chest by a poisoned dart. While she is unconscious, he removes the dart from her chest and sucks the poison out. When she awakes, she is naturally furious with him, furious at owing her life to the person she wants to kill, and furious at being subjected to the indecency of his mouth on her chest. There's a fight at an outdoor restaurant that the girl does not get involved with. She sits at a table and the whole fight just goes on, and it's really very gutsy the way she just sits there and there's this huge sword fight going on behind her. It's totally unrealistic, but it really looks like she is really cool to be able to sit there while all this stuff is going on that she can't even see what's happening. I usually don't like martial arts films in which a small child is featured, but this film is an exception, in part because of the manner in which the child is portrayed, without an excess of sentimentality or annoying childishness. The child doesn't speak much. The child, I don't recall ever seeing the child even walk, hardly. The fact that the hero is trying to keep the child safe is understandable because the child is so young, so small, so helpless. In several of the fight scenes, the child is the center of the fight, really, because the fight is revolving around the child. The hero is trying to keep the child safe. The villains are trying to capture or kill the child. I thought that those fight scenes with the child were really handled well despite the potential problems. Obviously, you can't risk harm to the child during filming, and yet you don't just want to use a little dummy, which would look fake. To keep the dramatic tension in there, you've got to use the real child as much as possible. As for the tyrant, he is totally focused on power. Military, political, martial arts. You get the feeling that the reason why he wants to kill the small child is so that everyone will know how ruthless he is. That if you oppose him, not only will he kill you, but he'll kill everyone close to you, your entire family, no matter how innocent they are. The final battle with the hero and the girl fighting against the tyrant lasts about 20 minutes. It's a good long battle. A scholar is usually a very non-physical character who does no fighting. But one of the fighters that the hero must face is a scholar who uses his book as a weapon and flings these razor-sharp pages from the book. This is a neat weapon, and it's a nice reversal on the usual character of a scholar that you might find in films such as these. Well, those are some of the reasons why I like The Matchless Conqueror so much.